In this video, you're going to be learning the 6th chapter of this London System repertoire. Today, we're going to be covering the lines of Agadmator and also Pawngrubber as well. So, the lines go d4, knight f6, bishop f4, and now they both recommend c5. So, in depth, both of them have a lot of time covering this e3 line that you usually play, but unless if you have a lot of spare time in your hands, I recommend you avoid this for this particular thing. But instead, I recommend the Occam's razor approach to have it simple. So Occam's razor simply means that if you do the simplest approach, it tends to be the right one, the correct one. So I recommend not do e3, but let's do the simpler d5. And there's going to be 3 lines we're going to be covering, and we're going to do d6, and g6, and later the Pawngrubber suggestion b5. We're going to start with the Agadmator line with d6. And now we go knight c3. He recommends they go e5, but we just go back to d2. They go bishop e7. So from here, I recommend we follow the games of Magnus Carlsen versus Levon Aronian that he won with white. So the game with e4, they castle. Then we go as white, bishop e2 to block bishop e4 potential moves, and knight b7 is played. Knight f3, knight e8 to prepare f5 with g6. So Magnus Carlsen just played a4 to block b5 ideas, maybe because it's game space. So g6. Now we go bishop a6 to attack the rook. So that to block with knight on g7, and white goes knight e2. They go king h8. We go h4, attacking this one with h5. Knight f6, we go h5 anyways. So Levon Aronian took on h5. We take that with the bishop. They take that with another knight. And we take the rook on f8. They take back the queen. And now Magnus Carlsen played g3. And you can explore all the other lines the rest of the game if you look at this Aronian Carlsen game in 2017. So you can look that game up and you see the full end result that white wins the game. Let's see about the other lines that are not Agadmator's lines. So at this position, instead of e5, people tend to go g6. At this one, we go e4 still. Nothing changed. Bishop e7, knight f3. They castle, we go a4. And they could go bishop d4, but we go bishop e2. Nothing unusual there still. Knight b7, we castle, they go a6 to prepare b5. We go knight d2, we try the bad bishop for the good bishop on g4. They go rook b8, and we go a5, saying that, okay, you can go b5, but I'll just take there. It'll be transposed into the live zero seat later, but it'll be very good for white. It was a really clear advantage. So if they don't go bishop b4, people tend to go knight a6 actually, to go to c7 and then a6 b5. If they do this one, we go bishop b2, they go knight c7, we go castles, they go a6, and we go h3 to have high hold for the bishop. So rook b8, we go a5, the same thing. So b5, we take en passant, rook takes there, and now rook a2 to defend b2, knight b5, and now we go knight a4, attacking the rook. So now, black has to be very careful where to put the rook. So if they go to b8, then they're going to be losing the pawn to c5 because of the pin. So they have to go, actually, the really awkward square, rook b7. But if they do that, we go e5. They take there, we go bishop takes e5, so they can take on d5 with either the queen or the knight. So let's say the knight. So now bishop e7, king g7, knight takes e5, attacking the rook. And the game is really in white's favor. Let's see the other line, queen takes d5. In this case, we just do queen exchange, and now we go knight takes c5, attacking the rook. There's only one square to move the rook, is rook b6. It's really awkward. Now we just do c3, and we have a clear endgame advantage. So now we're going to look at what Pawngrubber suggests for black to win the game. So they play b5. Now we're going to do a line that he doesn't actually cover, which is f3. To do e4 without the knight c3 problems. b4 is coming. Now this black goes 10 lead to just do g6, e4, attacking b5, and a6 comes, but we just do e4. turn to take there. B4. Now, with the hold C4, we'll just take their advantage of that. So, G6, they tend to play. Knight C4. Bishop B7, doesn't matter. Queen D2. Maybe doing something like that. They castle H4. Cool, fun stuff, aggressive stuff. H5, they want to. We go A5, maybe pop up B6 if you want to. Also, we have a really cool plan to do Knight H3, Knight F2, if they want to do Rook G1, to go G4. So with all that, we have initiative, we have easy plan of attack, we have a really good game, whereas black has lack of space, lack of plans, awkward pieces, and white is going to be on the right track to win the game.